Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's another marathon cast. This is the beginning where I'm vaguely coherent and hopefully don't miss too many kills, but the end will be the fun part where things get a little sloppy. So, well, our first match of the day. This is Starladder China. For those who are just joining Starladder China, we are on day 4, so today marks the halfway point of the group stage. After today, we come down the home stretch and we'll see who moves on to the playoffs. The top 2 teams from Starladder China will have a shot to advance. This match is going to be LAI Gaming versus LGD.cdec. We could take a quick look at the standings and we see that neither of these teams are off to a great start. It is still early though. If either one won out, they would probably be in position as top 4 to advance to the playoffs. But they got to pretty much win out, especially in the case of LGD.cdec. LAI Gaming maybe can drop one more game. And with that being said, we'll take a quick look here at the draft. I'll have Blaze joining me for the rest of the games, but we had a Dota TV snafu, and I don't want anyone who bought the ticket to miss out on audio. I know that's been a problem in previous broadcasts. So for this game, it'll be a solo cast, and then Blaze will join me for the remainder of the marathon today. So yeah, with that being said, we'll run through the picks now. It's going to be a first overall pick, Skyreth Mage from LAI Gaming. And just a very popular hero lately. Obviously, we all know what Skyreth brings to the table. Amazing silence, great laning potential, good kill potential later on. It is somewhat countered by BKBs, but looking at LGD.cdec, although they have cures that can build BKB, none of them it's going to be like their first big item. Centaur will be going for a Blink first, Viper into a mech, maybe even an Ags after that. So Skyreth will have his opportunities. Matches up pretty well against Viper, actually, as the Ancient Seal damage really helps to negate Corrosive Skin and overcome it, still burst him down quickly. So I'll see LAI Gaming pick up a Morphling here. And they protect this pick by snapping up the Skyreth Mage first, also selecting the Shaman, which is one of the better ways to deal with Morphling. Generally, heroes that have a Hex are good against him. Getting heroes that just have regular stuns, not so good, because he can just Strength Morph through that. We saw that yesterday. Chronosphere not very effective against Morphling. Even regular Stomps aren't either, in the case of the Centaur. It's a nice hero for Rubik to play against, though. Lots of good spells to steal. Waveform, Brew Split, and obviously the Shaman Wards. Not to mention the Strength Morph is freaking amazing on Rubik. So I'm feeling like this Rubik could have a big game for LGD.cdec. And I'm also kind of wondering how they're going to look to lane this one. Looking probably like it'll be a maybe Viper mid. Most likely either a tri-lane Centaur or... Actually, maybe they even go aggressive here with the Viper early on and try to put the pressure on the Shadow Shaman support. But yeah, more likely, I think we're going to see a roaming duo, the Rubik plus either a jungler like a Sand King, or someone who could just find early kills around the map with him. And then we'll see the Centaur getting the safe lane farm, the Viper going mid, and then Nature's Prophet into the off lane. As the Centaur Blink, very important to secure early on. We see some teamfight specialists, like I'd say Tidehunter's a pretty good example. Probably Void would be another good one. Clockwork as well. All 3 of them now banned. They don't need Blink Daggers. So for them, getting early farm is not as important. But for Centaur, without Blink, you can't really do too much. So I imagine we'll see LGD.cdec prioritizing his farm a little bit. And with that, the last pick coming out now for them. Looks like they'll need a second support. Unless they want to run the really greedy draft. But yeah, I'm looking towards something like a Sand King. Potentially a more aggressive jungler if they want to put pressure on these lanes early on. But LAI Gaming have difficult heroes to gank. Brewmaster, not an easy gank. Leshrac is perhaps an option. It would give LGD.cdec a little bit more push. We saw that yesterday in Starladder Europe, but the downside, of course, is that he is very squishy and becomes food almost immediately after the laning stage. But they will go for Leshrac. Okay, so that makes sense. It gives them some good push. It puts more pressure on the early roaming from LGD.cdec. They don't have heroes that can use the jungle particularly well in their supports. They don't have too much team fight later on from their supports, unless Rubik can steal big spells, and, well, Leshrac generally tends to struggle unless he has an explosive start. So I'm looking for this duo to do a lot of work in the laning stage. As for LAI Gaming, they'll pick up a Puck. This will round out their draft, and an interesting pick for them. It's a little bit on the greedy side here. Is they now have 2 Blink Initiators that require a decent amount of farm, Brew and Puck. You can run the Puck in the offlane here, probably a Brew going mid, and it'll be a tri-lane Skyreth Mage, Shadow Shaman, Morphling. But those supports definitely need their levels, and that's where the Nature's Prophet can be a big thorn in the side of LAI Gaming. Just constantly blocking the pole camps, denying them some additional experience, and yeah, with that being said, draft is complete. Always fun to cast LAI Gaming. XDD, XTT, and XZ. Or was XZ on the other team that they played the other day? I don't know. There's so many players that's names start with X right now in the Chinese scene. We'll see how it works out. But yeah, it's going to be the maybe Viper. So it'll be a solo mid Viper. 3-3-3, generally the offlaner. I'm expecting him to go bottom. for this dire squad. And yeah, our Centaur will get the safe lane farm most likely. So we'll immediately load in and have a quick pause. Let's see what's going to happen now. While we're waiting for that, we'll go ahead and run through the players. Oh, no, it's Super. Oh, it is XC. Okay, I was right. I was right. All right, introducing the teams now. LAI Gaming, Skywrath Mage will be handled by Super. Not the same Super from TI4 that played for Vici Gaming. This is Rising Star Super. I wouldn't say... Well, not old, but he has been in the Chinese scene for a decent amount of time, but known for his solo mid-wisp play way back before the Chinese teams really ran the hero. Rising Stars at the time was kind of like a gimmicky team in some ways in the Chinese scene. The Chinese teams didn't think that Wisp was a strong hero, and, well, Super was the first one to show that IO is quite legit. Solo mid, was running him in dual lanes. Anyway, Super on your Skywrath Mage. XDD, the Morphling. XC will be handling the Brewmaster. Going mid, 5400 will be on your Shaman, and that does put, as I was suggesting, the puck into the offlane on XTT's capable hands. Meanwhile, on the dire side, LGD.cdec will have our Centaur. I still forget how to pronounce his name. Is it XH? I want to say someone told me it's XH. It's how you... It's like a nickname for him. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Garter on the Rubik. Q will be playing your Leshrac, so a strong aggressive tri lane for these guys. They'll be running the Viper solo mid, and that does leave the Nature's Prophet safe lane. So, I mentioned there was some early aggression possible, but going aggressive tri lane into a Skywrath is always going to be dangerous. They'll look for the Shadow Shaman lift. They've got a 5-move speed advantage, but it takes a while to close the gap. Unless the Shaman misclicks. LGD.cdec will now back off, and having not really gotten down any great wards, I wonder if they still want to go for this. They'll drop one Observer ward, not spotted out by LAI Gaming, who currently have no vision in this lane. And actually take a quick look at their supports. Yeah, the Shaman's the ward carrier. He'll go for a lane ward now. And they're saying just get it down before the Dire Squad has vision. They did not see him place this one. But they may have an idea. There's a ping coming out in the lane. And, yeah, with that LGD, they're going aggressive tri-lane. But this is very risky. Like, if this tri-lane doesn't work, they probably just lose the game. Because Centaur is really their only initiator. And he needs a blink. And they're not going to get much farm on him in this offlane if they're not getting kills. You're going up against the Skywrath Mage. Every time Centaur goes in for a last hit, he'll take heavy harassment. The mid lane could go pretty well for LGD.cdec. But Brew's already taken a point in Drunken Haze. Although he's missing last hits now. Nice choice against a Viper. Generally, you'll see this Drunken Haze build when you're laning against someone like Templar Assassin, Viper. Here's that don't have a nuke to last hit. It's not so effective against, like, say, a Death Prophet or even a Razor who's got Plasma Field to somewhat deal with the Drunken Haze. In the offlane for LAI Gaming, they'll run a Pug first and Nature's Prophet with the no tally start. Should have a decent time of this. He's been pulled to Tango as well. So I honestly could see LAI Gaming losing mid, but not too badly. That's what you should expect with the Viper versus Brew, with the point in Drunken Haze. It'll get worse as the levels come out on the Viper, but early on, Brew should at least get a couple of last hits with the clap. And, well, then in this defensive tri-lane, it is a Centaur as the farmer, so as long as nobody gets caught by the Rubik lift. But when I say anybody, it's mainly just the Shaman. Skywrath Mage maybe, but he's very fast, so he's likely to be able to get out of there with the 325 base move speed. So I'm not sure if they'll be able to get any kills. Early on, a Sentry Ward was dropped. They blocked off the camp. They tried to de-ward this in the case of LAI Gaming, but the de-ward actually goes the way of LGD.cdec, so they keep that camp blocked off, and they're going to limit LAI Gaming's ability to pull in this tri-lane. That's a big deal. As I mentioned, both teams are fairly level-dependent supports. Rubik needs a 6. Leshrac doesn't need a certain level, but he just needs levels in general. And obviously Shaman, Skywrath, you really want to get their ults online quickly. They level up exponentially, I would say. But they'll drop another sentry now. They'll get this D-ward off. LGD.cdec do have another sentry, though, so we could see them block this camp off one more time, and then it would be blocked until the 5-minute mark. Meanwhile, top lane. XTT trying to trade blows here at the Nature's Prophet, and actually coming out reasonably well, all things considered. This is a matchup where Prophet has to be careful. If he gets caught, and the puck is silenced, and there's no TP scroll on Prophet, that will be a kill. But he's picked up his boots now. And with the trance, as long as you just keep on sicking them on the puck, it's hard for the puck to make favorable trades. Just sit back, let the trance start harassing him, and then make your move. And LGD.cdec, as the bottom lane pushes in, there's less chance that LAI Gaming will know they're missing. They also did de-ward. They de-warded this ward, so LGD.cdec are making the smoke in the blind. And they'll move up the ramp, wrapping around towards the bottom lane, looking for a first blood. Who do they find? With no vision, it's hard to get the jump, but they're going to get 5,400 here. Leshrack's in front. Can this stun be juke? Rubik just getting arranged out for the lift. He's going to have him. But tossing him back, it's Q who ends up going down first. Centaur Stomp is there, but the follow-up kill is going to come. And this Shaman's actually going to end up living. It's a 2-0. It's going to be a wipe of the tri-lane. Oh, God. Oh, God. Game over, boys. Well, you better win your solo lanes now if you're LGD.cdec. That's for damn sure. And they're doing so, but only very slightly. It's a 3 deny advantage top lane. XTT now playing a Hansia. So basically top lane's a wash. Mid lane's a slight win for them, but it's a lane you're expected to win heavily with a Viper versus a Brew. At least somewhat heavily. Yeah, so that was really smart by LAI. Instead of just trying to retreat, they saw that the Rubik and Leshrack were kind of in a compromising position, and they just jumped it with the Morphling and the Scarlet Mage. Like, those supports, as good as they are at initiating, they're very vulnerable. And Skywrath just offers you more bang for your buck in those early engagements than heroes like Leshrack and Rubik. They need to chase. Edict is more damage over time-centric, and, well, just didn't have the burst to get the kill. Losing the Centaur is even more painful here for LGD, though. As I mentioned, this is an initiator that needs his blink. Some can get away without it. The Void, tied to some extent. But this is not a hero that can survive without it. XZ will pick up a haster and he runs towards top lane. But this is spotted by a Dire Observer Ward. And our Nature's Prophet in 3-3-3 actually TP's out. He's picked up the Orb of Venom. And with this, just looks to dominate the 1v1 match against the puck. But being forced back to well already is... It's going to cause him to fall a bit behind in terms of CS. Does he have his phase boots up yet? Oh no, he's actually going Treads. So he's going for the early Null Tally build. Pick up some power Treads. Wondering if a Blade Mail will be next. It honestly is a nice pickup this game. Great against the Scarlet Mage. Quite nice against heroes like Morphling. Pure damage is very strong against a high armor but low HP hero. And generally that's what Morphling will be in most fights. As XTD gets tossed back into the tower, dodges the stomp. They didn't time it just right. Well, Shrack's stun was a bit late. And so too was the Centaur stomp. But he's got to wait until the hero's tossed back in to go for that. He's got a really small AoE on his stomp. And now LGD.cdec, they really have to look for a rotation. Oh, Coil top lane. This could be a kill. If they get a solo kill here and a tri-lane kill. I don't know if XTT's getting this one. Orbing forward. It's close. Barely gets it with the phase shift. A well-placed orb in, and they'll retreat and live as well. So they've lost bottom. Now they've lost top. The one lane they're winning is mid. So. Yeah. It's going to be tough from here. And what could make it even tougher is this rotation from Super. There's no vision for LGD.cdec. Remember, they got dewarded earlier. So this is an easy kill. If all they need is that concussive shot into a clap, into a split. But as XZ runs forward, oh, they're still going to get in range. The concussive shot will find him. Clap will follow this up. And now the split. Yeah, there you go. Throwing out the Sansa. Maybe they'll bring down the Viper here. It looks like can't keep him alive. He has stick charges. Maybe it's enough for him to stay alive. Garter could be easily killed, but they're not going for him. Viper Strike gets the one kill, but goes down. Another boulder toss. Oh, it's already been used. Garter now barely able to escape and survive this one. Had a Cyclone there at the end, I think, but just got fogged and couldn't get it off. And even if he got that Cyclone, he doesn't have a clap afterwards, so XC couldn't really get that kill. So now they've lost all 3 lanes. Viper got a return kill, but it wasn't on the Brew. It was on a support Skywrath Mage. Who, yeah, is level 4, but... Well, all I'm going to say is if LAI Gaming lose this one, then LGD.cdec have severely out-executed them in the mid-game. And Super's going to keep the aggression flowing. While Q rotates around, he'll drop an Observer Ward here, but 5400 saw him poke his head out. Might have an idea that this ward was placed. Trying to prevent these pulls. And now they're just going to play their trump card, I guess, for the laning stage. That's bringing in the Nature's Prophet. They're not winning their solo lanes. They're not winning the tri-lane, so time to start forcing the issue. But LAI Gaming are already in position to reply to this. They're chipping away at the tier 1 mid. And now a stun onto XTD. Can they follow this up with a stomp? They do. Double edges there, and they'll get the kill. Much needed. That's one that generally won't happen, as it's very difficult to land a Leshrack stun on a Morphling, but they didn't have vision for that. And just snuck through the tree line and got off a good initiation. A little bit overextended in the Morphling. And they get their first tower of the game, so a small sign of life for LGD.cdec. Gold, fairly even. Experience, actually not that one-sided, but I just worry for underleveled supports like under farm supports like the Shrek or Rubik. And well, the tower gold is nice, but we're going to see soon enough LAI Gaming take 2 of their own. They brought the tier 1 tower mid down to 260 health. The tier 1 top also dropping pretty quickly. The key items for them now are the Blink on Centaur, his level 6 in terms of abilities, as well as a mech. If they get those, they got a shot. But this won't help if the Centaur dies again top lane. There's a coil available. They're reserving it for these teleport rotations, and everybody's going to oblige. XTT has already used the coil, and he'll end up going down here. But it didn't do too much. They didn't really follow up for that one, and in the end, it's a 1-for-1 exchange. Still, Puck with phase boots has a much easier time initiating than Centaur. He doesn't have to run right next to you, he just has to run somewhere in your vicinity. But the question is going to be if LGD.cdec can just keep the pressure up. Use the fact that they have the stronger early 5-man carry in the Viper, and just try to force fights. But they need Stampede, that's really their team fight. Whereas Brew Split's already online. If you force the tower too much, and Brew TP's in, this is all going to fall apart. And he is getting close to his blink. Puck orbing forward, didn't connect on that support, so the squishier Nature's Prophet. So won't really be able to drive them off this tower too easily. And LGD.cdec, will maybe get the last hit? Yes, he will. Very close to the mechanism now. LGD.cdec losing all 3 lanes early, but with 2 towers to their name, and a mech coming soon on Viper, they might have a pulse. This one might not be over just yet, boys. As XDD aggressively starts pushing out this bottom lane. And will be forced back by the Viper rotation. So, 9.5 minutes in. It's a gold lead for LGD.cdec, albeit if the towers were even, they'd be losing in terms of gold, and they may lose this tower mid now. I'm not sure they can defend this one. They have no real way to stop a Brew Split. With no Centaur Blink, it's going to be tough. While they look to jump in on XTT, they'll toss him back, double edge, stomp, follow-ups there, they get the kill on the Puck. Very nicely coordinated. Thought he might have had a split second to phase shift right as he dropped down, but it was real close. And if you time it perfectly, while Rubik's lifting him up, you can't do anything as the Puck. You are disabled in the air, so wouldn't have been able to phase shift if the timing was absolutely perfect. But they'll now get their Brewmaster Blink. And the next time that LGD.cdec go for a tower, they'd better have the mech and the Viper there. He's got it. He's got the mech now, but Viper is not particularly mobile, so they'll have to be very deliberate about their movements around the map, ensuring that maybe is always with the team for those fights. With the Viper mech, they've got a shot at winning a team fight, but without it, the Brew Blink and the Puck Coil Silence follow-up is going to be way too much for LGD.cdec to deal with. As XC makes an aggressive move with a Hasterin to set this one up. They'd love to go on the Centaur, slow down his Blink progression even further, and they're going to do it now. Clap, he just got the Stampede, but XC continues pursuit with the Hasterin. He runs the Centaur down. He's got split mana. He's going to be poppy it momentarily, but if he waits too long, no, he splits. He'll dodge away from the split earth when doing so. Great destroying of that stun, and now killing off the Centaur. They'll stun Q. They're looking for a secondary kill here. Will they actually secure it? Boulder toss in 1 second. They need just one more to finish him off. Can't do it. They'll Cyclone Viper in the air. But now Brew might be turned on. Rubik, Spell Steal's ready. He's going to get the Brew Split. Gardner with the big plays. XC didn't have mana for a clap, and he'll end up going down. Drunken Haze, you got to turn and then throw it. Wouldn't have been able to get a Drunken Haze off in time anyway. So now, LGD.cdec losing all 3 lanes, but having a breath of life. They've got the mech now. Centaur does die again, but with the 2 towers, they're getting closer to his Blink Dagger. And they'll get the last hit mid lane. So it's 3 towers now going their way to the 2 that LAI Gaming have claimed. The tower score has equalized a bit over the past couple of minutes. And Gold even, experience slightly favoring the Radiant. They really need the Puck Blink, and he's getting close to it. With that and the Brew Split, then you can look to insta-give these supports. Very high-octane supports like Rubik. You don't want to let him steal Split, live through the fight, and, you know, steal any of these spells, really. Not just the Split. The Shaman Wards will be crucial in this upcoming engagement. And they might go in mid lane momentarily. LAI Gaming holding the line for now, but LGD.cdec know that they're strong with the Viper mech, and they want to force the issue a bit. Continue to see Joy. Nether Toxin does affect towers. It does half the damage it does to heroes. So it allows them to bring this tower down a bit quicker. As it gets lower, it'll drop faster and faster. And it's going to end up going down here. Very low. Gets the last hit. That's 3 towers in a row for the Viper. Maybe is just rolling in the dough right now. Had the fairly one-sided matchup versus the Brew early on. And had the 1 death from the rotation of the the rotation of the Scarth Mage. But yeah, 3 towers will answer the call. Now he's got a point booster to go. And LGD.cdec will push on the top lane. 4 heroes grouped up. The Prophet has gone for the Bone 7 build. I don't know if it's really the Bone 7 build. I don't think he necessarily invented it. It's been used by a lot of players in the EU. Oh, hold that thought. They've called out XH. That's a big aspect of the team fight here. Are they still going to engage? They are. Into the Brewmaster split. Into the Scarth Mage. Oh, maybe just sacrifices himself for really nothing. And now the Brew, well, he's on the chase. He's hunting for Q in the trees. And he'll end up going down here. And now, let's see. The Rubik split, not really enough. As 3-3-3 will end up falling. And even with the stolen split, they just can't take the engagement. Garter now, Drunken Haze, slowed down. He's got to steal, but all he'll be stealing is Drunken Haze. And Puck blinks forward. This is going to be a team wipe the other direction. LAI Gaming get a triple kill on their Puck. And the key there is just 2 things. Losing the Centaur immediately before he casts the spell, and losing your Viper almost instantly to a Shackle Scarth Mage ult. Doesn't matter if you have a stolen split from there. They have no team fight. These are the only heroes that can stand in the fights. It's the Viper, it's the Centaur. 5,400, dropping down an Observer Ward here on the high ground. And they'll get some good vision of this Centaur, who has yet to really find a nice kill. He'll run up the hill, but he'll be just seconds late on finding 5,400. Well, for LGD.cdec, they are Dire Side, and they do have a mech, and they do have a Nature's Prophet, so I'm wondering if they think about a Roshan here. They're grouped up towards the pit. They might need that as a little shot in the arm to get them back on track. Getting wiped against LAI Gaming, this is not a game that LGD.cdec will be taking late game. Their Centaurs died way too much. The Nature's Prophet has gone for a very mid-game-centric build with the Blade Mail. The Viper is a mid-game-centric carry by nature, and also has gone straight into kind of your standard mid-game items for Viper Mech, down to the Aghanim Scepter, or BKB potentially. So the window for LGD.cdec will be, say, another 15 minutes or so. You go much beyond that, they have very little control for this Morphling, just the Rubik Lift. And stealing Brew Split is not something you can count on. So they'll get the Aegis, an important pickup for them. But it's more for me, what are they going to do with the Aegis? Do they take big objectives? Do they win a team fight and force high ground? They have taken on the tier 2 mid, so the option's there for LGD.cdec if they can find that opening. And I think if you're LAI Gaming, you just try and find pickoffs around the map. You don't really need to force any sort of team fights, but if you can just isolate heroes with a great Observer Ward placed down, that's a great way to start these fights. The one hero that's tough to deal with will be the Viper. They'll want to jump somebody else, and they'll go straight on 3-3-3. He pops his Blade Mail. Coil doesn't connect on him, but it does find the other 2. Brew blinking forward. Now Clap splits onto Garter. They'll lose the Rubik instantly. Chopped down by the Fire Panda. Now throwing the Centaur up in the air, keeping him out of the fight. They'll return him to Earth. Another Boulder Toss forthcoming. Not sure if he'll be killed, but he is being controlled nicely by the Brew split. Maybe trying to find someone that he can get onto in this fight. It looks like he'll get the Brew in the end. So in the end, he'll blink up to the high ground, but Blink Stomp. XH was ready for this. They'll follow this up with a little Shrek Stun, isolating XC on a cliff. Not where he wants to be. He'll end up going down. But the Morphling split pushing. It's a 2-for-1 exchange. A nice win for LGD.cdec. But it's also a 4v5. And Morphling's getting closer to what I imagine will be a Lincoln Sphere this game. Pretty good Lincoln game, mainly to block just the initial Rubik Lift. Obviously, you can do things like Spell Steal to break his Lincoln Sphere, Fade Bolt, but you only need that half a second just to react, press Replicate, and TP out, or waveform away. And LGD.cdec don't have a great hero to control a far Morphling. There's no Doom this game, no Disruptor, no Skywrath Mage, who obviously won't control a Morphling as much once the Lincoln Sphere or BKB Manta comes out, but can be effective for this phase of the game. So they really got to do something to XDD. Whether it's directly ganking him, the other option is just to force him to come to fights. And the way you do that is just taking very one-sided engagements that if he doesn't come to them, his team just loses the game. So that would mean something like a big smoke gank into a 5-man push mid. Maybe just try to go down mid. I'm not sure if they're strong enough, though, because when they're pushing into Brew Split, they're also pushing into a lot of team fight control in the form of the Puck. LGD.cdec, meanwhile, farming up their Ancients here with 3-3-3, and LAI Gaming are just kind of spreading the map. They'll send the puck top lane. For the time being, XZ heads that direction as well. 5400 as wards ready. They may even just completely avoid fights. And, yeah, we've got Super and XDD hiding in the trees. It's a rotation from LGD.cdec, but they're going to completely whiff on this one, it looks like. Maybe they can wrap around on mid. They just got Vision of XZ, but he is split. So they have to chain stun him before he can pop it. It's a big investment, this smoke. A lot of wasted time if they don't find a kill. And just getting a support is probably not good enough. And in fact, it looks like they're going to miss it. XZ is rotating top. The movements are really nice here from LAI Gaming. They just seem to have a sense for where LGD are. And a lot of it comes back to this Observer Ward and the position of the creep waves. Mid lane's pushing in at the river. Top lane's at the tier 2. They've dropped wards to force the rotation back from LGD.cdec. So basically, you look at LAI Gaming's vision, and like they had a good sense of where LGD were not. And so they could do, by process of elimination, figure out where they are. But XDD gets caught bottom lane. The follow stun from Leshrac will be there. Diabolic Edict can be channeled now. XD, replicate up. He can wave into the trees for this. And now TP out. He's got bottle charges. Can he do it in time? Prophet Trans Summon. He's just... No, he's caught. He's done for. See ya, Morphling. Great kill by LGD.cdec. Meanwhile, top lane. Look for the leap in. Or maybe not. They have the puck here. I'm surprised they don't want to take this fight, but... They are worried about the counter-initiate from a Prophet teleport. They'll end up backing off. Yeah, I'm still feeling like LGD.cdec haven't gotten enough done, though. Gold being even at this stage is favorable for LAI Gaming. Tower advantage is 1, but they have to find an objective with this Aegis. Still, it's tough to do so. Like, they just don't have the best lineup to make it happen. And now you see LAI Gaming going for more items that will allow them just to be rewarded if they can spread the map. Getting a Blink Dag, or sorry, getting a Dagon on Puck, this is an assassination item. And not always the right choice if you're forced to team fight a lot. Sometimes you need a Hex if they have a carry that you simply can't blow up in team fights, but they have enough to deal with maybe. And modestly getting this Dagon means Rubik is very unlikely to be stealing split. Puck is a great hero to find Rubik in fights. Extremely mobile, very difficult to burst down, and generally will get his initiation off. But they want to jump maybe top lane. If they kill him once, the question becomes, can they kill him twice? I think they'll want a 4th hero for this. But support for maybe is coming in, and his BKB is inbound. Still, forcing out the 10-second BKB would be pretty nice. Aegis got about 1 minute to go. A little bit longer. And now the rotation. Backstab coming in. XTT. He'll find Garter on the side of this fight. 3-3-3 might be caught. These are the perfect heroes to catch out Blink. Silence is there. Prophet will Blade Mail. And Garter lives but gets tasered down by XTT. Now the Ward Trap surrounding maybe and holding him in position. Well, he's got BKB. Does he want to pop it? Actually, they're just ignoring him. They're chasing the backlighters. They'll kill off the Morphling. Or the Morphling will kill off the Leshrac, I should say. And now they'll look for a little bit more. Boulder Toss. They'll get 1 off. If he doesn't BKB immediately, he's probably going down. He'll BKB. He'll turn this onto XDD. And the Mystic Flare, not enough to keep XDD alive. He'll end up going down. They lose their Morphling for this. Now XC at the Sprout. Trapped. Held in place. He can't blink out. He has no mana to teleport. And he'll fall as well. So it's a 3-for-3 exchange. But with the added bonus that LGD.cdec lost their Aegis. So still got to say, I think a slight win for LAI Gaming there. Wards will be farmed, so that's pretty much hero kill gold. So I guess you could say gold-wise it's an even trade. Then again, losing the Morphling is costly, but takes a lot of wind out of the sails of LGD.cdec to lose that Aegis. And the Dagon's being leveled up for XTT. He can just solo kill the Leshrac or the Rubik, no matter what. There's still no points in Null Field. And even if there were, I don't think it would matter. He's probably doing like well over 1,000 nuke damage at this point with this full combination. And not to mention the Phase Boots auto attacks are not to be trifled with. He's hitting for 140 or so before reduction. But Rubik will get a Blake. This is a big one versus Brew. It means when he jumps in, if he doesn't manage to isolate you immediately with a clap, you can blink out. Or just sit back if you're not already caught and wait for a good opportunity to jump in and steal Brew Split. That's where if you're LAI Gaming, you have to make sure to retreat the Earth Panda towards the end of the split. It becomes easier with an Eggs, though. You get more time to retreat, more time to pursue the fight and wait for that opening. LGD.cdec, they'll group up bottom lane. And they'll look to push this one in, but LAI Gaming are applying the split push. Morphling waving forward in the mid lane. While XZ and 5400 towards the top side of the map, they'll clear out a wave with a clap, and now this will force the rotation back from LGD.cdec. They've been thwarted every time they really try to commit. And seeing these teleports back, as soon as LAI Gaming sense it, they'll hold that thought, Blink Stomp on XDD, follow-ups there from Leshrac, but then Puck leaps forward. Doesn't use the full combination, actually too low on mana to kill off the Leshrac, and now XDD's trapped out. Double edges there, he'll wait for him forward, but 333 is going to chase him. Centaur's Blake, stomp again, and they're going to lose the Morphling another time. Where is the Replicate to keep him alive in these fights? Replicate just died off. But if your Replicate's about to die off, you should just back. Like, Morphling should not be dying this much this game. LGD.cdec do not have the burst to kill a Morphling from full health. He will be allowed to use abilities. Like, he got to use Waveform, he ran for 20 seconds there. As long as they just only push when he's got a Replicate, he really shouldn't be dying this much. Well, meanwhile, mid lane, XC's going to have to split. He nearly gets picked up by LGD.cdec, and they'll probably get a Leshrac kill for this, at least if they can find a Boulder Toss. But the jukes are strong from Q, and they don't want to risk having this Brew Split stolen. So the Cyclone will probably just be used on Garter. Yeah, that'll ensure no Brew Split steal. But Brew Split's down, and LGD.cdec, I think it's time to push in. You have no Shaman Wards to worry about for 40. LAI Gaming may have just forfeited their first lane of racks with a fail split. I almost am wondering, should he have just sacked his life and saved the split to defend? All they've got is Coil now. They'll need a pick here. They gotta kill someone off quickly. The trees march in. And LGD.cdec at least will chip away at this tier 3 mid lane. Looking for their first lane of racks. 25 minutes in. They still got time as Puck just blows up the Leshrac on the northern end of the engagement. Use the Dagon there. That's the kind of pick they need to slow down this push. Blinking forward is XE. He'll clap the wave. And LGD.cdec unable to really crack the base. They'll do chip damage, but they also give up a kill in doing so. And now this gives time for the Brew Split to cool down. He's now picked up an Aghanim Scepter. He's getting closer to his level 3 ultimate. And with the Ag Scepter, of course, you get the much more difficult ult to steal, just because it has an extremely long duration. You want LGD.cdec going into the Roshan pit. They're going to look to take out this Aegis, and this, to me, is the big Aegis. They need to crack the base with this. Morphling now working towards a Yasha. XDD does not have the greatest farm, but eventually it gets to the point where the Morphling is just too mobile. And he could just go on your backline, still very squishy. Rubik stole Strength Morph at some point this game, so he has decent HP, 1300, but he's still pretty killable for a farm Morphling. He's got 0 armor to work with, which means Morphling's right clicks will absolutely shred him. And Leshrac is at 900 health. These heroes are very killable. And if you lose those two, then you're fighting 3v5. Not to mention the Puck is great at killing off the backlines as well, as I mentioned earlier. So LGD.cdec collect their Aegis, maybe picks that one up. And LAI Gaming just perch in position here on the high ground of the dire jungle. But they're going to be too late if they want to spring a trap. LGD.cdec are thwarting this one simply by pushing. Not often being aggressive will allow you to dodge a gank, but this is one of those cases. And in the end, they'll just TP out. They'll retreat out to the base. They'll clear out the wave. And they'll stall. Split pushing with the Morphling. XDD, no Replicate up again, though. Garter, blink in, there's your lift. But the Rubik actually gets saved. He's able to retreat out of the one. I think he got tossed back the wrong direction there. Or did Centaur... Oh, you know what? I think Centaur force-stepped him away. I'm pretty sure Centaur force-stepped him away. Oh my goodness. I was like, that's... Like, Rubik couldn't toss that far. He got, like... he got, like, dropped straight down and then force-stepped away. I think the Centaur might have meant to force-step himself. Or thought that the Leshrac would be facing the other direction. Or, not the Leshrac, the LAI Gaming support. But not the case. Well, that's a fail. And LGD.cdec will keep on pushing in, but you could tell they're nervous about this. They know that one bad engagement is probably going to turn this game. Because one bad engagement means Morphling has Manta, has the makings of his next item. And that's the point where these supports just become food. But they got the Necro 3 now. And they break the Linkets for the Morphlane. Go wave just to try and slow down this aggression. But the wave is mech'd up as XZ blinks out. That means no great initiation for him. XDD taking quite a bit of damage here. He'll be forced to stick up. Still holding his ground. Replica cooling down is maybe just, well, he's standing in the front lines here at the Necro 3s. LGD.cdec still pressing onto this tier 3 tower. And they're getting scared. Another blink out. But while that's happening, the Brew jumps in with the puck here to follow it up. They focus on, actually, the Nature's Prophet with the Blade Mail. They'll look to finish him off. XDD also being isolated. LAI Gaming now have to fight against Maybe, though, but he gets hexed. This will be the death of the Aegis. He's ward trapped for this. He needs to fight his way out of this one. Has BKB for life number 2. Centaur, pretty low on HP. He's about half for now, and they'll end up losing the Viper. The Aegis will pop. He's still out of position, and they'll manage to bring down the Centaur. Great counter initiation there. As Puck continues to do work, he'll find the Rubik as well, killing him off with the Dagon. Now Maybe pretty much left on an island. Drunken Haze forced to retreat out. XZ held in place by a Sprout, but to what end? They'll just ignore Maybe. They'll kill off everyone on the backlines, and this Viper's just getting kited for days. But he will turn. Drunken Haze is going to end him. He'll be held in place by Shackles. The initiation and mobility of LAI Gaming simply too strong. When they jump the backlines, there's just no answer. It's 4 dead. They'll Shrek the lone survivor in the case of Q, and not much you can do there. They even bought back on the Nature's Prophet. While that was happening, they pushed in the top lane to the tower, but they did not crack the base. Now XDD is on 3,400 gold. And killing off this Viper is big. He's got to stay an item or 2 up this game, and well, with that death, Morphlane is closing the gap. Curious to see if XDD actually goes for a Manta, or if he maybe even considers just a straight shotgun here. They're still great shotgun targets this game. It's kind of a late one, but I still think it's a very powerful pickup. Manta does allow you to split push, though, and it really just depends on if LAI Gaming think they're strong enough to take fights. After that one, they probably do. And obviously for that, shotgun's going to offer you a lot more than a Manta, but Manta will be really nice for the split pushing. So it just depends on the way they want to approach this game. But I'm interested to see the choice. In the bottom lane, it's XC. Blinking forward. Just spreading out the lanes. They want to get the creep equilibrium going their way. LAI Gaming, they know they're up against the Nature's Prophet. A hero that generally shoves the creeps in against them. This will force out a Stampede top lane. Just a simple initiation from Super. Then they realize, oh wait, he's alone. But he'll force staff himself out and ends up double edge. No, they'll get the kill. He's like, oh wait, that Scarus alone. Let's just kill him. Blink, Hex in from 5,400, and this is big kill. This is a absolutely essential kill. Killing off the Nature's Prophet now. This prevents the lanes from being pushed against them, and with that, the high ground attempt will be very difficult for LGD.cdec. Remember, that Prophet bought back in the previous engagement, so that's a dieback from him over the course of the past few minutes. Well, the Dire Courier actually, or Radiant Courier actually gets sniped by the Dire. What did I have? No, nothing on it. Puck going in with the Dagon, trying to finish off this Rubik, can't quite do it. Centaur, Blink Stomp. Oh, he'll dodge it with the Phase Shift. Nice done by XTT, but still chase forward. He'll coil, and now the Brew's forced to protect him with the split. But if LGD.cdec can wait this out, they'll have a decent opening here to maybe force the issue. This is the time to do it. Clapping on the Centaur while the Viper's kept out of the fight, and now they've isolated him way behind enemy lines. The entirety of LAI Gaming is just bypassing this Viper every fight, and they leap up onto the high ground. Now going back down with the Replicate. If they can get off a good Hex on him, and a Drunken Haze as well, they can kill off Maybe. The mobility of LAI Gaming, way too much for LGD.cdec to deal with. And meanwhile, 5,400's going aggressive here, but he'll get melted by the Shrek for this. Still, they'll get the trade. They'll get this kill momentarily in Garter. Waving forward, XTD will find that. While XC pursues out Q on the other side of the fight. Drunken Haze is there. Yeah, his regen rune almost instantly canceled. Can't let him get this invis or he's probably... Oh, just kidding. That's a completed shotgun on XTD. And that's going to be the death of the Shrek. And it's just starting to get to that point where LAI Gaming are just too good at picking off everyone. Like, they probably couldn't beat the Viper 1v1, but they don't need to. They just ignore him. And it's really the weakness of Viper in the late game. Just not a mobile carry. Doesn't offer much lockdown. Well, XC rotates towards bottom. He picks up a Mystic Staff, and I'm thinking this will be... Yeah, oh, he's got Plate Mail. Alright, it'll be a Shiva's Guard for him, so... Hex wouldn't be too bad this game, but I think they have plenty of Disable. Really what they need is just chasing power. It won't help you against Stampede, obviously, but we've seen the Stampedes mostly ineffective in the team fights. These fights just go too long. Like, you Stampede, and that's great and all, but it only lasts for a few seconds. And then the Brew Split continues. You've got a 19-second Brewmaster Split. So 15 seconds of the team fight, Brew is still hunting you down. Boulder tossing you, clapping you, drunken hazing you, and right-clicking you with the Fire Panda. And now he's got a Shiva's Guard to add to his war chest. And we'll soon see XDD picking up a Linked Sphere. Or a Manta Style to go with the Linked Sphere. So at that point, then he can just start to man up on anyone. I think even with the Manta, he'll still struggle a bit against the Viper, but Drunken Haze just controls maybe so nicely. And now they're going to move through mid. Not smoke, just calmly pushing out the mid lane, LAI Gaming are. They know the Roshan's coming up fairly soon. And they'd love to take a convincing team fight before it does respawn. And there's your smoke. That's actually a good time to check smokes in general, as both teams have been using them quite a bit this game. Yeah, Dire have 2 in the bank. So LGD.cdec have plenty. LAI Gaming, this will be their last for 12 minutes, actually. So if they go now, they gotta make it work. And it'll be a Replicate joining the team. They'll send the Morphling to the top lane. It's very similar to the Nature's Prophet. So nice to have a Morphling later on in the game. You can send him off to split push, and while your team goes to force fights, and hey, you basically have a mini Spectre. Just rejoin with the Replicate in and look to engage. They're getting dangerously close to getting caught. XH actually just blinked behind enemy lines. Garter's gonna get caught out here, held in place by the shackles, but a 2-hero stomp from XH, a decent way to turn this. Just not enough. He gets melted into smithereens, and now Garter's gonna be the next. He's stolen the shackles. XTT, though, although he falls, it's for a good cause. Nature's Prophet joining the fray, maybe trying to fight, but it's up against the might of XTD, and now they Hex, maybe. They're gonna focus down the Viper. His BKB doesn't last long enough. The Necrobook chewed to bits by XTD. They've lost 3 for this. They're gonna lose their gem potentially as well, and 333 will fall too. Now up to the Leshrac. Well, he's trying, man. He's trying, but this ain't happening. It's too much beef now for LAI Gaming. Just raw right-click potential. Raw nukage. They run over LGD.cdec, wipe them out. In good news for LGD.cdec... Oh, actually in bad news, Rush is respawned. Oh boy, this is not good. That's Aegis and Cheese to boot. Seems like Gaming may be too low to go in, but it's one more good fight and then straight into the Rush pit. To be fair, that was not a great way to start the fight for LGD.cdec, but they just don't have much late game. Like, what do they really have? They have still no Hex on the Nature's Prophet. We're now 36 minutes in. Leshrac is really just like a 4 or 5 position level of farm. No Bloodstone picked up, no Shiva's Guard, no BKB, like none of those big items you'd hope for if your Leshrac's going to play a carry role. And Centaur, purely utility. That leaves the Viper, and a Viper with a Yasha, he's just not going to out-carry a Morphling this big. Not to mention, it's not just the Morphling, it's the Shotgun into Dagon 3 and all the Puck nukes. As XDD just calmly struts into the Rosh pit, really a sign of the confidence LAI Gaming now has in their state of the game. Everybody's descending on the pit. Maybe we'll strut in, and waltzing forward, LAI Gaming will also make their move towards it. Remember, they did get their gem back in that last fight, which dropped in the middle of it and then picked back up. As XC leaps in, this will... Oh, they forced out Stampede. Alright, well, the Roche fight just got a lot harder. I'm not sure if LAI Gaming want to force the issue too much. They'd rather just take a convincing fight. No reason to risk or roll the dice overly so. Waving forward, XDD, shotgun on a Q. Won't be able to finish him off, but now the blink clap. That's on 2. Split to follow this up. Garter will force Steph and tries to retreat out, maybe. Now, Boulder Toss, clap. That forces out the Viper BKB. Big spells being used up, and these backline heroes still being pursued out. XDD's gotten into the backlines, and that's all she wrote. They'll lose the Rubik. The Leshrac dies as well. It's just too easy to get those kills. And meanwhile, in the base, Morphling's able to defend. Prophet tried to split push, but couldn't get close enough to bring anything down. So LAI Gaming march onwards. They'll be forced back by a glyph, a prophet ult, but this only buys them a bit of time. If LGD.cdec want to fight, it should be like right now. Brew split a minute ago. If you let that cool down, then I wish you all the best. It's rat Dota time, I suppose, for LGD, yet, like, their rat isn't that strong. It's just Diabolic Edict and Necro 3 Prophet. They don't have a Desolator, no Assault Cuirass, no Tiny Wisp. It's a very piddling amount of split push they can actually offer. And with Morphling, he can easily deal with one rat Dota style hero. But Roche begins to drop low. They'll force Staff the Centaur out of the pit, but Brew comes in. Blink, clap. He doesn't have his ultimate, though. He's just trying to buy time for his team. As they focus on 3-3-3, he's going to run away with 4 health. No, he gets clipped by that last auto attack from the Morphling. Now the shotgun onto Maybe. This sets up a big damage Mystic Flare, but they force Staff Maybe out, keeping him alive for now, for a time, but only for a time. And XDD is just too big. It's Godzilla Morphling status. They have to focus him down. Blinking and clapping the Brew. Now gets a split off. That's going to be the death of at least one. Probably more. Waving to the left. The Morphling will survive. This Rubik zapping him again. Just can't finish him off. And everybody buys back along with their mothers too. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buybacks. Count them and weep as Roche will fall. Aegis and Cheese hit the deck. The Radiant get the kill. The Wards finished off the Roche. The Aegis and Cheese both snatched up by XTT. Everything going wrong here for the Dire side. But they'll kill off XTT once. And they may be able to do it again. Will he be fast enough? Can they get that lift off? Oh, he warps. He phases. He's going to leap in. Oh, now he's caught. Where's the lift? Where's the lift? Maybe cooling down? Oh, he already used it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. They'll get the kill on the Puck, so Puck dying back. It is technically 5v4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buybacks, yeah. Read them and weep. Checking our buyback status now. There's 1 on the Radiant. That is absolutely it. Can they actually push in with this? This is, like, when's going to be a better window? I really can't think of one. Blinking. There's no Brew split yet. He's just going to start right-clicking XZ, just buying time for his team with his BKB while the Morphling engages. But he's pretty low. Remember, he doesn't have buyback. He gets off his BKB, though, and now he goes in hard onto Garter. Didn't get that final killing auto attack. Turns instead onto XH, but doesn't finish him off either. They're not getting any kills. Morphling forced to retreat, but they've gotten Maybe. It's cost them 2 heroes in the meantime. And they'll find a 3rd kill. It's a 3-for-1 exchange. They did lose their Viper. And the Morphling manages to hang on for dear life. This buys time for the Puck who died earlier to respawn. Well, it's going the distance, boys. 41 minutes in. Technically still anybody's game, I would say. There are exposed racks mid. There's no tier 2 standing for LAI Gaming, so a dieback or 2 could cost them, but if LAI Gaming play their cards right, they've got the better late game carry. They have the better team fight control. And they just have the burst damage that LGD.cdec are sorely lacking. XDD will march down the mid lane. They know Viper's dead for some time. They're trying to force out his... Well, actually, no. If they saw he bought... I'm not sure if they saw he bought back in their last fight, because it was ultra chaotic. But if they did... Then, oh, stolen phase shift, silence, take him. It's not going to matter. Phasing forward, not coiling. That's a lot of commitment just for a Rubik killing. It cost them 1, but XZ will now split, and they'll force forward onto Q. This Morphblade is so big. Now turning onto 3-3-3, not killing off anyone though. He's really struggling to just finish the target. Well, do they even get anyone? They're not focusing buildings during this time, but they drive XH all the way back. Brew, unable to be stunned as he is in Panda form, Earth Panda form, still fighting while Morphling works on the Rex. Q now gets turned on. He's still got a BKB. XE is like one-manning their entire team. Nice Manta dodge of the Viper Strike there as XTD continues to farm at the well. Enemy heroes, not buildings, not creeps. They'll TP out. Is there a way to cancel this? No Split Earth. He gets out. No BOTs, but up to 4,800 gold. They finally cracked a melee Rex. 43 minutes in. They've really had to work for this, though. But you can see the trajectory the graph's taken. It's not a pleasing one to LGD.cdec fans. 25k experience down, 14k gold down. This game quickly starting to feel out of reach for them. I'm racking my brain now. Like, I'm just not sure what LGD.cdec can do at this point. Honestly, I look at their draft and just feel like they had their opportunities at 20 to 25 minutes, and I just don't know what they have right now. If they had itemized the profit more for late game, if they had gone for some greedy Midases, if they'd focused more on farming, if they had taken cleaner trades earlier, then maybe they could still hang in this late, but they're just lacking in any sort of scaling heroes or items. Even something like Necro Book 3 is very irrelevant now. XDD, if he wants to focus the Necro minion, could just BKB, right-click it down, and not take any damage. Even Puck can potentially look to kill it off and phase shift at the right time, and if the killing blow lands while she's phase shifted, it won't take damage. So it's, in team fights, not a very relevant item. Obviously still helps you split push, yet they just don't split push that fast. The Morphling's doing more than the Nature's Prophet. He's also much less afraid of getting ganked. So XTD just is left on his own. The only heroes on their own are heroes for LGD.cdec that know where the Morphling is, and they're not nearly as far out. He'll now rejoin his team as the Brew moves forward, and he's getting close to a refresher. That just gets to the point of pure ridiculousness. As XTD is... Give him his Lincoln Sphere. Huh? Why is he carrying the Ultimate Orb instead of the Lincoln Sphere? Oh, he's got a Scotty Gold. Okay. He'll go to buy a Scotty. I was going to say, pretty sure Lincoln's is a better value item than a double Ultimate Orb, but... Okay. Yeah, he'll Agility Morph a little bit more. And now they'll go in. This Morphling is absolutely gargantuan. He's hitting for 340 damage, and he's still got 2,200 health. Shotgun's there. Forces out the BKB for maybe instantly, and they're just letting Morphling sit in front. He'll soak up the damage. He'll siege this base out. He'll wave back when he gets a little bit low, and they'll earn him up. And as the agility morphs to maximum, he actually has no more agility to morph into. He's used all his strength up, just sitting on the 1 base strength. But he'll go back in now. The Iron Chart's doing a lot to recover him. XC blinking and clapping forward. That will be stolen, but not really what they want. Now they prep with the wards. And LAI Gaming, they begin what could be the last siege. BKB on XC. He'll just keep on right-clicking this building. He's still got a Shiva, still has a split, and he'll be using those soon. Can they burst him down before he gets off the split? Shiva's... He probably should have split now, honestly. Lift. They'll drop him back down into a double edge. He gets 4-stepped out. Can he get off the split? It's going to be close. Morphling waving in. Goes onto the coiled Q. And we'll end up getting him off. And, yeah, the Brew splits out now. This is all over for LGD. They can't take it anymore. Too much firepower. Straight onto Baby. Diving to the tier 4 towers. Waving over the top. Finishing off the Viper. Focusing for additional kills. Yeah, it's going to be the Centaur next. GG. LGD.cdec. The plummet continues. 0-4 in Starladder China. Nearly out of contention already for the playoffs. They put up a good fight, but they just don't have it in the end. And with that, we've got 1 game down in the books, but a lot more to come your way, guys. This was our first match. Coming up next will be, let's see, it's going to be IG versus Hyper Glory Team. Hyper Glory Team is 2-0, so this is actually a pretty important match. Obviously the less well-known team than Invictus Gaming, but yeah, we'll take a quick look here at the actual schedule for the day, and then we'll go to a break. Oops, that's not right. Okay, Vici Gaming versus Newbie also today. That's a good one. Yeah, okay, here's the schedule. So, coming up next, we're going to have Invictus Gaming versus Hyper Glory Team, then Vici Gaming versus Newbie. That'll be the marquee match of the day, followed up by LGD versus Tongfu. Then we move over to Starladder Europe. Thanks for watching, guys. This is our first game, but not our last. I'm LD Beyond the Summit. Thank you for watching. We will be right back for Invictus Gaming versus Hyper Glory Team. Stay tuned.